Next we come to Meena Varma. Meena is the director of Dalit Solidarity Network UK, who works tirelessly to end discrimination created by the caste system. She does this through research, academic work and public advocacy. Meena has been instrumental in raising this issue, which is still poorly understood in the West. She does this through governmental organisations as well as the media, and in campaigning to put the basic human rights of all people above religious notions of social hierarchy. Meena, would you like to say a few words?
Wow. I feel honoured and humbled, really, to be here today. This is an issue that really is very little known, very unchallenged, and rarely acknowledged. Caste discrimination affects more than 260 million people throughout the globe. And the thing about it, 260 million, it's a very conservative estimate. And caste discrimination, which affects Dalits are actually the former untouchables, manifests itself in some of the worst human rights abuses that we know today, and that is an abuse of every single one of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Number one being access to a life of dignity, because Dalits are treated like lesser humans. Even today, in the 21st century, a Dalit can walk across the path of a so-called dominant caste, and that path will have to be purified. It will have to be washed. In South Asia, where predominantly caste discrimination exists, there is still the practice of manual scavenging. Now, when I first heard the term manual scavenging, I thought that was going onto a rubbish heap and picking out plastic bottles and scavenging for the things that could be saved from that rubbish tip. But no, manual scavenging, to put it crudely, is shoveling shit. And I'm sorry if that offends anyone, because what it actually is there is a group of people who have been destined to pick up human excreta and clean it away from dry latrines. And that is in this century. And manual scavenging occurs mainly in a country that manages to put up 130 satellites in one day. But it cannot provide toilets and water and sanitation for 80% of its population. And the worst thing about caste discrimination is it travels. It comes with the population. Now, there may be many people here, or certainly in the spheres that we're currently campaigning in, that say caste discrimination doesn't exist. Well, yes, it does. And we've exported it. And when I say we, I'm talking about Asians. Because if there's anything that happens, the things that we take with us when we leave, so my generations before, my families before, and my parents will assure us, so we take our caste and we take a little bit of chili pickle. Now, I'd like to keep the tradition of the chili pickle because I have it in my bag. But I'd like to dump the caste discrimination. In fact, I'd like to dump caste because it's the system that is the problem. And I'd like to get rid of it. And so here we have in the UK a problem equally bad. It might not include shoveling shit. It might not include some of the worst abuses, which is caste-based sexual violence against women, because when it comes to women, we're not untouchable. In fact, we're more touchable than most. So I would like that discrimination that has now come to the UK to end. And to that we have a campaign which has been going on for more years than I care to say. But in the light of legislation, actually it's still a baby. It first was introduced by the Labour government in 2010, a small clause where should evidence of caste discrimination in the UK be proven to exist, then we would have to activate legislation to outlaw such practice. Well, 2010, we're in 2018. It's taken a little bit of time. That was on the face of the act. It has been a very long and rocky road, and I know there are some people here that have helped us along the way. We are at a point, for those of you that understand nuclear legislation, where a public consultation was announced in September of last year. Sorry, public consultation was announced in March of last year, closed in September of last year, and we're waiting for announcements on what that consultation results look like. The thing about the consultation that shocked those of us that are pro-legislation was that the parameters had changed. Why we were shocked, I have no idea, but there we are. We're always optimistic that the right things will be done. But initially, when the public consultation was announced, it was announced that there would be a consultation on how to implement legislation to outlaw caste discrimination. But all of a sudden, the consultation was whether to implement legislation on outlawing caste discrimination. And we were presented with options: A, yes, to implement, and B, to rely on case law. Now, without the support of the National Secularist Society, and I have to say a personal thank you to Keith, because he has been a real source of strength and support. For me and my organisation in particular on this journey, we don't know where this is going to end, and I know, well, I won't let him give up, but he won't give up anyway. And the National Secular Society has helped us to show this is not a Hindu problem. The Hindus are making it a problem for themselves. This is not a Hindu problem. This is a cross-religious problem throughout South Asia, for those with faith and those without, because caste has become infrastructural. It has become systematic, and it has become a mindset. I think, Meena, you said about hijabs and mindsets of the hijab of the mind. Well, this is caste of the mind, and it's the same thing. Without the support of the National Secular Society, I don't think we'd have moved it where it is today. So I thank you so much for that. I am honoured with this. I know Peter retweets me every so often, so thank you for that. Makes such a big difference, and please do retweet whenever you can. Thank you very much.